What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today is an exciting day because we are doing a full ideal build for a 2024 Tacoma. We finally got all the parts in. Let me show you the truck that we're going to be putting everything on. Cameron came in, he said, I hunt, I fish, I'm an outdoor enthusiast. I just want a buy once, cry once solution. So we went through a bunch of options. This is his 2024 silver Tacoma. He has the long bed option, which is awesome, especially if you do a lot of outdoor recreation stuff. You get about a foot more of real estate in the rear, in the bed of the truck to compensate for all your gear, tents, just stuff. So today we're going to be swapping out the wheels, tire, suspension, upper control arms, links, springs, and doing a full off-road alignment for him. I'm excited to show you guys some of the products. Let's go inside. I'm pretty sure we got everything laid out so I can walk you through each of the products and why we chose these specific items for Cameron. And then we're gonna go ahead and get into the install. We're gonna start with the tires. Customer opted for some Toyo tires. I think these are the RTs. Yep, these are the RT Trails. It's a 285/75 R17. It's basically a tall 34, so skinny, but tall, so gives you a little bit more clearance, also helps with gas mileage. This is a great tire for the trail because you have two different types of tread. So in the middle you have a hybrid, which is basically like an all-terrain type of tread. This one is a little bit more mud terrain because of the larger gaps, but this is great for mud, snow, just off-roading in general. Plus, I do believe that these are a 10 ply. Yep, 10 ply rating. Which is interesting because sometimes 10 plies aren't real true 10 plies. Sometimes they'll tell you 10 plies, but what they're actually adding up is the tread ply is 7 and the wall ply is 3, which gives you 10. But then others are actual true 10 plies where the side and the tread are 10 ply. So these are a true 10 ply. It's a beefy, heavier tire. Will ride great. Okay, then we jump into suspension. This is the part that I'm most excited for. This is our first set of full Kings on a 24 Tacoma. These Kings are awesome. Like if you want a phenomenal ride for your rig, this is a great way to go. These are the 2.5 Reservoir with adjusters. You get this big meaty reservoir, and then here's your adjuster. I want to show you there's about 20 points of adjustment for these on the rear. Trying to be soft with them, and the front. The difference between these and the 3rd gen Tacomas is the actual springs have a bigger diameter. Let me grab a 3rd gen real quick. I want to show you a little side-by-side comparison. So this is a 3rd gen Tacoma. I want to say it's a 600-pound spring here. Yep, these are 600-pound springs. When these for the 4th gen are going to be 500-pound springs. So significantly lighter springs, but you can see it, the diameter is bigger. There's less coils going around. So we're going to see how the ride is. It should be a little softer, but it'll be interesting to see how it accommodates to added weight if our customer decides to go with a bumper or anything of the sort. Probably going to be up in those spring packages sooner than later. Then it comes with these really nice anodized aluminum shock mounts, additional brackets. Then we did the Icon spring for the rear. This is more or less a dual rate spring. Oh, it is a triple rate. Okay, I was just gonna say it looks like a triple rate.
Yeah, so you got
here, and then there, huh? Okay, cool. So we went with the Icon springs. This is actually a true triple rate. Tony and I were just looking at it. So right up here on the top, this is your great for in town, just like a softer ride. This is like your mid-weight, also for like in-town driving, and then this is more of like when you add more weight to it and also giving you some height. And then we went with the billet upper control arms with the Delta Pro joints and Heimed ends. This will allow us to optimize his alignment and also give him a little bit more longevity when it comes to all the off-roading here in Idaho. The sealed joint for this just keeps out all the muck and mud when these guys are hunting back up in the woods after it's snowed or whatever. After all the suspension, last on the list is wheels. We went with some methods. Jeez, this is gonna be so sick. Wanna see these are the 711s. 707s. Yep, these are the 707 Bead grips. The offset on these is, this is a 17 by 8.5. This is a plus 25 offset, matte black, MR 707 Bead grip. And the reason it makes it Bead grip, and the reason we recommend this for outdoor enthusiasts, is because bead locks aren't necessary for your average guy unless you're airing down to like 0 psi. I'm exaggerating, but really, really low PSIs. These Bead grips are phenomenal because it has the front and rear grip. This will hold into the 10s, 9s, 8s if you want them to. Even here at the shop, when we have to de-bead them with the machine, it takes a lot of force. Double or triple the amount of a regular tire to de-bead it and then dismount it. So this is the best go-to, and it's cool that they got the Bead grip on the rear as well, because sometimes the rears will pop if you're doing cookies. But if you're an outdoor enthusiast, just want to get out there, get hunting, have a phenomenal ride, this is probably the most ideal setup. The only thing that I haven't shown you guys from this are the arms. We're doing lower and upper and a panhard bar for this customer, and I'll show you that once they get here. And I can run you through. These arms have Johnny joints. They're really, really thick DOM tube, tubing with notches that allow you to fine tune the rear alignment. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna get started on this thing, put it up on the lift, rip out all the old suspension, show you guys kind of like the swap out, the comparison, so you guys can see. And then once we get it fully installed, we're gonna do a little review video showing you guys how well it performs, put it up on the flex ramp to see if there's any difference, and flex as well. Let's go. You got it in 4-wheel drive?
4-wheel, yeah.
Okay, sweet. Dang, it almost touches the freaking fender. Oh, dang, that's actually pretty decent.
Am I off now?
Nope, keep going. Right, keep going. All right, there. Yep, right there. Wow, that's actually impressive for stock suspension.
No, that's actually not bad.
Okay, so we're gonna go from the front of the tire here. We're at 24 inches for a front flex. That's actually really decent for stock suspension. Okay, back it down. Let's do the rear tire up first. Say it ain't so. Oh. So songs they're listening to. There you go. Yep, straight back. Passenger a little bit. Okay, go slow, hold on. Keep going, go super slow. Oh! You know what, not worth it. Not worth it. I don't want to scrape his bumper. I'll let him scrape his bumper.
All right.
Go ahead, pull out. You're good. Dang it. Guess we're only getting front flex numbers today, boys. Okay guys, so apart from the King and the Icon stuff, we also have some of our joints through JD Fab. These are phenomenal joints to have for your Tacoma, specifically because this is one of the strongest upper joints or joints that you can get that is rebuildable. These are called Johnny joints. See right there. So we have our two lowers, our two upper arms, two lower arms, and then your adjustable panhard bar. The adjustable panhard bar, the reason that we like these is as your lift goes up and the axle separates from the chassis, the axle will actually shift to one side. So having an adjustable panhard bar will allow you to recenter the axle at regular ride height. The proper way to do it would be to adjust that the mounting point of where this panhard connects to up a little bit higher so that it sits horizontal at ride height. But this is the next best option. Also, it's extremely beefy. These are all made out of DOM tubing, thick wall, and then you also have the gussets here that we can use to slide off of because we put those on the underside when installing them. Okay guys, day 2 of the Tacoma. We finished it on Friday. The customer took it. He took it off-roading, had a bunch of fun with it. Then he dropped it off today so we could go over in detail what we did to it. This 24 Tacoma is actually outfitted with the little credit card styled key that actually pull out and there's a key in it. So we're gonna grab the truck, we're gonna pull it over, we're gonna get it on the flex ramp, get another set of numbers, and then just do an overview of what we did and the benefits to the upgrades that we did on it and why it might be the right fit for you. Come on. Is it still touching?
You're spinning now.
Is it off?
No. Now you broke. Now you're really off.
When do I touch? Okay. Measure it, Dallas.
Yeah, measure yourself.
Bro, I gotta hold the brake on. 20, I'd say 26. 26. So I think, I wanna say we got 23 or 22 before. But I do know that these shocks have 20% more travel to them. So I think this is actually a good place to go through the suspension because it's all exposed. So, okay. So on this truck, we did King 2.5s with adjusters. And surprisingly, on the 3rd gen Tacomas, we're rocking anywhere between 600 to 700 pound spring rate or a lower spring rate with a taller spring. These factory come with 500 pound springs, which is really interesting. It is a larger diameter, which you guys saw in the video of the comparison. Also, the reservoir is black instead of silver. It has fins on it to help it cool even more. So just like a larger shock in general. I'm surprised this wheel doesn't stuff a little bit more. I think we also have to remember that this, he has probably 300 miles on these shocks. And as that spring breaks in a little bit more, we'll be able to allow this tire to go up further into the wheel well. But at its height, we're still 5.5 inches from the top. Everything clears super well. Paired with the King shocks, we put the Icon billet upper control arms that you can get, I think, in gold and silver. And the silver matched really well with this SR5 Tacoma. And then due to us being in Idaho, we have the the Delta Pro joint that's sealed. Great long lasting. I know there's always skeptical people out there, but this joint really does a good job in the off-road scene when you're still wanting a sealed joint using like a weekend warrior type application. This is a great setup. So kings and icons up front, and then in the back, no icons, or yeah, nothing icon except for the springs that we added. This is the basically the only spring that they offer right now. It's a 1/2 inch rise that is a little bit more than a 1/2 inch because it has to break in. We also got the kings on the rear with the adjusters. The setup is really, really nice and how it just tucks right up onto the frame. Also, they came with these brackets that King makes that fit phenomenal. They don't have these with any of their current kits for the Toyotas, and so this is something new. Looks absolutely fantastic. The anodized blue ring that holds the shock looks great, and the icon spring in the back really does give it a really good ride. Apart from those, we added the JB Fab here locally arms, and the reason we like these arms is one end of the arm has bushings that can be replaced, and then the other side of them has Johnny joints, and Johnny joints in our opinion is one of the strongest joints out there for the off-road application. It does have a little bit of play into it to add a little bit of I guess smoothness in the ride. It's not so jarring. Great for applications when you're daily driving, and they're rebuildable. So we did upper arms, lower arms, and then the panhard to adjust for the lift that we added to this. The reason we added the arms is this customer is planning to hit some rocks, do some heavy duty stuff with this, load a dirt bike into it, and he did have a fear of having something impact the arms and bend them. So these are made of, I want to say 3/8 or even thicker DOM tubing with the Johnny joints, and the bushings all greasable, so they're going to be much more heavy duty than the stock ones, which we'll also be making a video of, cutting the two in half so you can actually see the diameter difference, which will be awesome. The panhard is also equipped with Heims, so you can easily adjust the orientation of the axle width underneath the vehicle. This setup, suspension wise, the shocks are right around $3,700. The springs I think are $325, and then the full arm kit in the rear was $1,800, and then the billet upper control arms up front I want to say were $13 or $14. All this combined, yeah, this is like a buy once, cry once. This is going to be a great option for it to last, like the longevity be great for this vehicle. Moving from the suspension, for this customer we went with Method 707s. This is a bead grip wheel with a Toyo Tire Open Country AT4. Trying to see here. And this is basically just a large skinny 34. And the customer didn't want bead locks, even though he's going to be airing down significantly, so the bead grip was a perfect application for him. You're still able to air down into the low, probably 8s. When we mount and dismount these tires from the bead grip, it's easily 5 to 6 times more force to fully de-bead a bead grip tire versus just a regular tire. So these tires do not come off of these bead grip wheels from Method, and aesthetically they look phenomenal. The wheels offset for this truck is a +25. The reason we went with a +25 is it gives you about 1/4 to 1/2 inch of poke depending on which tire you go with, which means you're not flipping a bunch of crap all over the vehicle, but still gives you a little bit of poke for that cool stance. So with the 285/75s, we didn't have to remove. There's a cab mount bracket crash bar right here. We did not have to remove this for the 34s, 35s. I want to say they're like 34.8. So the crash bar is still there, so he still has room if he wanted to go with a slightly larger tire, like a 35 12.5 or 13.5. And then that's it. That was it. We're gonna go take it on a test drive. I'm gonna give you my opinion. I'm gonna tell you what the customer mentioned when he dropped it back off, because he did also have an opinion. Let's go take it for a test drive. Bro, video me getting in. Oh, jeez. Dang, I love how these trucks just like get out of the way of themselves. They just get up and go.
Not like the third gens.
No, not like the third gens at all. So he's getting 18 miles a gallon with 35s, 34s, and a lift. That's awesome. That is freaking awesome. Drives really, really smooth. We're gonna go back through a neighborhood that has some like divots and some speed bumps. I will tell you right now, the customer, when he dropped it off, said, holy cow, it drives exceptionally better, but it's stiff. That was a surprise to me because of the 500-pound springs. I need to do a little bit more research to just know if like the diameter of a spring at a different spring rate has a different impact on weight. I'm not sure if it does, but 500-pound springs, and he says it's a little stiff. He will be adding some armor in the future, near future, bumper, just a low profile bumper, sliders and skids. So before we go to or even try to get a softer spring for him, we're gonna order up all the armor, kind of let it do its full break-in, and then we'll do our spring adjustments from there. But as of right now, handles the speed bumps way better. In our Tacoma that's on 37s, we're running a Westcott lift, which is just a spacer lift, and even with the Bilsteins on there, the ride is decent. So you got to compare what you're wanting to do with your truck. If you're just daily in it, not doing much with it, Westcott is the way to go. We got those kits, I'll link them down below. One step up from there is probably going to be like a basic icon setup with just a coilover, no reservoir. And then I would go up from there and either hit these Kings, some icons, or locked off-road shocks when they get them available, just because those adjusters do make a difference. If you go from daily driving to the trails, being able to loosen the dampening on the shock itself makes a big difference. Yeah, overall, man, it feels like a little bit more control. Feels really solid. The one thing with the Westcott, with those 37s, I feel like when we do hit a bump, it's like, boom, pretty, like you can feel it when you hit that bump. But it's because you're on the factory Bilsteins with a small little reservoir on it. I'm not gonna slow down for these. What do you think about that?
Felt good.
Good? Yeah, actually, that feels really good.
Not bad.
It says stop. Oops. Okay, so all the products on this truck are going to be linked in the description below, so you can head over to the website if you want this exact same setup and the way that this looks. Or we're going to start a little build sheet on our website of some of these Tacomas that we're building with like the offset, wheel size, modifications, just everything in general. Yeah, weekend warrior stuff, keep your upper control arm, just get a Westcott, do a little spacer in the back. If you're wanting to add a little bit of weight in the back, bump it up to an Icon rear spring. Mid-level, go to like a 2.5 shock without a reservoir. And then when you're like heavy weekend warrior, overlander, added weight, these 2.5 shocks with some good upper control arms. Those links for just, I would say, more durability than geometry. Yes, we did lengthen those arms about 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch to compensate for the lift, and just gonna be way more durable when hitting obstacles off-road. So if you guys have any questions about this build, you can drop them down in the comments below or message us on Instagram, Taco Vinyl or Apex Offroad Idaho. We'd love to send you out a quote if you're nearby, get you in and out, and get you on to your next adventure. So if you like this video, subscribe. We really appreciate it. Supports the channel, and we will catch you guys on the next episode.